Ready?
Yes.
You can go live. What? Something went wrong. No, it didn't. Are we live? I think we're live. We're live, I guess. I don't know. Hi.
Tell us, Internet.
We're here
That's
today.
Ned. For Oliver's travels. Okay. Oh, Vineyards. Today was sponsored by Vineyards, apparently. And sound. Some speakers.
Dun, dun,
Good for us.
dun. Yeah. We're here today to talk about empathological fallacies, don't you know? That's the name of the game today.
What a name. What a game.
Right? Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody. Episode 4, thank you. Episode 5? What are we on? 4 or 5? 4?
5.
5. Oh dear. Halfway through the
Season 4, episode 5.
Right. That's sad in its own way.
Halfway there. Dun, 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 dun. There's only one more episode of Ahsoka, but 5 more episodes of Lower Decks.
I get to binge all of Ahsoka at some point.
Oh, it'll be good to binge it. It's a good one.
Yes, although I won't binge unless unless my brain says you must do it. I'm not gonna binge all 5 in one night or anything. But if it's that good, who knows?
You must do it.
I remember there's certainly a couple of Andor. I was like, nope, next one. It's 2 a.m. Yeah. Nope, the next one is happening now. It is next week now. Sanity be damned.
Binge-a-cate.
Oh, I know.
Anyway,
what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing. See you in a minute.
Who gets picks randomly? What? Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. We are Trekyards. We're going to do a review of episode 5 of season 4 of Lower Decks, Empathalogical Fallacies, and we're doing so in a minute as soon as he's done sharing. But by all means, click that like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Do all the things you guys need to do. Please super chat in. We want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, theories, conundrums, all the things. Do them now because you know you want to. You know you have to. It's just the law, and it helps out the channel. So please do. Also consider joining the channel. We have our fleet video, our Trekyards fleet that you can be a part of. You out there can be a part of the fleet and get assigned to a ship. Have your own ship, depending on the rank you the rank you get, or check, and you just sign up. Click the join button down below and look at the options, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to become part of the fleet. Same ranks, privileges, and all that apply over there. Plus, you get to join us on our Discord server. Some behind-the-scenes stuff, and get to chat with us and other people that love Trekyards over there as well. So consider joining. Absolutely, 100%. I don't know where the hell Sam went, but hey, that's all right. We don't need Sam. We don't like Sam. It's fine. Also, check the links down below. There are links to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. We got ourselves some really cool Trekyards merch, and you yourself can get yourself some really good Trekyards merch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So do the thing. Check the things. Look at the things. Do the things. Oh, my goodness. Mark Lawrence has gifted 5 Trekyards memberships. So I'd like to welcome Jason Hurdle, Trekkernaut, Mike Yu, Lesser Logic, and Danny Shaw to the Trekyards fleet. Welcome aboard, ensigns all.
Amazing.
Thank you, Mark.
So I went out and I shouted about our live to the neighbourhood. Hopefully our neighbours will join in. Or if someone in the chat says, shut up, guy in Bedford, then that's my neighbour. But if our views only go up, it's because our neighbours are really interested, okay?
Okay, cool. John Walker is here. He was there last night. John, did you get the links and check out the things that I posted in the live last night when you got home from your walk? Let me know. Interested to hear your thoughts on things. Olivia Julius, $5 to start off. This is a donation for Sam's new liver. Sorry again, Sam. I promise I will never leave you unthirsty again. Make Sam drink forever. If you missed our if you missed our Drunkyards Extreme, you missed out on a pretty good time. That was a fun one.
That was fun. Marie was here. She joined in. She encouraged also my booziness, which is, you know, it was I was being ganged up on all sides. It was unsurprising somehow.
Sam was being gangbanged. You heard it.
That's not what I said.
Oh,
you did not hear that. You liar. Yes, episode 5 of season 4. There we go.
What's the title, Sam?
I don't know.
Empathalogical Fallacies.
I never look at them until you tell me. So when you see my face in the lives of our viewers, like that's what I think.
It's my job to know these things.
That's true. So yeah, halfway through, Stuart.
Yes.
You have a question? Should I do a poll? Aha! I curveballed you there.
Yes, I think let's do a poll.
Okay. But Stuart, what do you think of season 4, episode 5? And how did it feel rewatching? Because you had certain feelings going in. I'm intrigued if they're different now coming out.
Rewatch didn't do too much to change my mind. This is one of those all right episodes of Lower Decks. We got to learn more about T'Lyn, which was awesome, and Captain Freeman, you know, as well. And I didn't see the change that we've seen in Mariner. She's not as gung-ho to just solve all the problems by herself anymore. So those characters had some development that was great. Overall, it just felt like a B plot, like really long B plot with no A plot to break it up. As a B plot, I think this would have been great. Just the main story. I think Boimler's was the B story, and it was just kind of as well. But honestly, it was just kind of an all right episode. I'd say middle of the road as far as scoring goes for all Lower Decks. But yeah, there you go. What did you think of it, Sam?
That's me.
That's you.
But there's a poll as well, Stuart.
Ooh, let's read the poll, everybody. What did you think of this episode? Loved it? Liked it? It's okay. Nah, didn't like it overall. Chime in.
Yes. I don't know what you guys think.
Ray Ricks, though, throws in £5.
Super.
Can't stay. Thought the episode was okay. T'Lyn's stuff was interesting, but the rest was so-so. Felt like a bit of a filler. Yeah. Filler type episode.
Which, you know, I would never write filler, really, if I'm doing anything. Everything should have a purpose. Of course, the first T'Lyn episode isn't filler. It's the first T'Lyn episode, and she's not a filler character, so it can't be filler. It's a main character episode, you know?
Yeah.
Filler only works if nothing of meaningfulness happens, and clearly it does. We learn T'Lyn's inner turmoil, we see it evolve, we see it change, we get a relationship with, you know, it's not filler. And yet... but no, I liked it. I liked it more second time round. As in a lot of these times I don't repeat myself, but you know the expectations were lower the second time because I knew it was going to happen, so I could just enjoy the ride versus expecting there to be a point. Because the point should have been at the end when they're given the knowledge, the data bank of the mystery ship. That should have been a reveal, information, something new learned versus nothing new learned and just status quo shown. That should have been a moment to galvanize the episode into something big. Nothing actually was evolved because nothing happened at that moment. That was their biggest letdown. I get there'll probably next week something will happen and we'll progress, but that was the big problem with this episode. Nothing really happened in that respect. But if you know that's going to happen, then you can just enjoy all the character bits. The fact that the Mariner and Mum are really good friends now, that's lovely. Boimler and Rutherford are so trusting now that Rutherford can actively, you know, manipulate his friend in a good way, which takes a certain level of friendship. All the stuff with Shrax and Boimler is rarely done, but it feels very genuine and nice. Mixamo, you see a bit of him, worthwhile of that. You get to see that Loxana is actually more stereotypical Betazoidian than... That's just part of their culture slightly, you know, because even if these three ladies are undercover, they're undercover at things that people would not think twice about, which is rowdy, drunken Betazoids, which means that must be their stereotype or something pretty regular. Because obviously it's what they're like, so that's clearly a stereotype, so that's fun to see. Tendi doesn't do anything, but it's okay. Obviously T'Lyn gets a lot, and the captain is actually quite good in this episode. She keeps control of herself enough to like be one step removed from the best course of action at all times. So considering how bad she is and sometimes and how bad she was when she almost destroyed a Dyson ring, she's really good this week. She kept control, she did a good job. So there's a lot of very small character beats, and I almost would have said just cut Boimler's story entirely and have there be no B plot, because it was so focused on the A plot that it was a developed A plot, right? Like, it was really nice and focused. So every time you cut away to him, there wasn't any meat there until the end, but the end could just have had off screen, like in the sense of, oh, you went to see them, cool. Okay, now they're rushing in now. Like, you didn't need the middle stuff. It's fun in its own way, but it's a very like small way. So it's not filler, but it needed to really have a final beat that was big. And I certainly expected after the credits rolled, as in after the initial story ended, to have another sequence with the attack thing to push it one step forward again. That would have been obvious. You know. So there you go. What do you think of my thoughts?
Well, you never tell me what you think of my thoughts, so it's not even fair.
I have more thoughts.
No, you're right. The Boimler stuff could have been dropped, honestly. It was cool seeing the NX puzzle, though. That was kind of neat. And the emissary card. Yeah, I saw that after you mentioned it.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Simple.
So I mean, but it was kind of fun to see what the security team does on their off time as well, and to learn a lesson that it's just about taking care of the crew, whether it be emotionally or like fighting off alien invaders. So I kind of liked the Boimler stuff a little bit, but there wasn't enough there to make it really impactful. But yeah. Might be a better episode than I remember, actually.
That's what I mean. It was, once you know nothing big is going to happen, the small stuff actually works better. It's about expectations, right?
Yeah.
And I think T'Lyn is really good in this. And once again, Mariner is simpler in a good way. She's more relatable. She's back to being manic, but even in her most manic state, she's still on a level that we can relate to. You know, she says at one point, right, everyone needs to begin the effing brig, and me, because she understands she's more in the situation. And I like her being friends with her mum. I like all that stuff. So and also like you see a lot of the crew. You recognise so many people. This feels like a really big ensemble show. Like giving Mixmo thing, like giving Stevens and Ransom a moment, right? So it's actually very. It's a lot of small pieces, but missing a giant piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia made Julius $2. I'm having fleet paw brisket tonight. Ooh. Yes, the Olivias in ancient times used to hunt the fleet paws, don't you know? Yeah.
Although the first time it seemed odd, but the second time it's like we do that as for animals. Imagine ordering computer Betazoid hot, because that must be what happens.
Well, you can do that in the holodeck. Beta's that hot, and you get Deanna. It's like, yeah, baby.
But yeah, if his species eats synthetic, then obviously it's going to be the replicator because they're Starfleet species, which means you can actually order a fake version of one of your crew's flesh because it's a delicacy on a planet. That's a hell of a thing. But how can we judge it if you're ordering pigs and all sorts of...
Those are just Tellarites. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. How did they get... How did that happen, though? Because you had tech first and went to Betazoid before it was warp capable? Or how? I don't get the timeline for that. They're not close to each other, I'm guessing. Unless they're like neighbours, in which case, holy hell, really?
Well, Ray Ricks, though, upgraded their membership to Admiral, so we got a new Admiral for the fleet.
Ooh, that's going to change the game.
That's good, yeah. It's going to shuffle things around on the fleet again.
Excellent. Oh,
Thank you, Ray.
That helps so much, as you know.
And amazing. John Walker throws in $2. Ransom and the whalebone at the start cracked me up. Yeah, that was almost one of our thumbnails for my last night live. The drinks. The big long drinks. They're called whalebones. He like shoved it in the crack of his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's equal opportunity objectification.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to be objectified.
Yeah, it never
Bring it on.
happens. You know, you gotta appreciate people, and you gotta appreciate. It's funny because I happened to find the screen cap of it, and you mentioned it in the review, but the Charlie's Angel pose is like 3 frames long. They go out of it instantly, but it hits in your brain. Like I absolutely picked up on that. I love that you picked up on it. Like it's so short though.
Yep.
It's so there.
We almost used that tagline for my live last night too. Betazoid Angels or Foley's Angels I changed it to, but anyway. If you want to see the unused thumbnails from my first reactions, you can join the channel and be part of the Discord server because I'm sharing them all from now on. Because they're so creative and so well done, and people take time on them, and then we never use them and never get seen by anybody. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, bold. I like it. The craziness, you'll see it in its rawest form. Are you prepared? I don't know. Put in $1 a month and you can be part of the thing and see. But anyway, so pre-tile sequence, there is none. So into the tile sequence, past tile sequence. Here we go. Gosh, do I miss the classic warp stars. Thank you, Lodex, for keeping the flame alive for years now. Well, I don't love the fact that it's lit by the warp stars with the blue and the green as a highlight color, because that's just not correct. It would look so obnoxious if we did that in CG. Just lighting.
A lot of people said this when the animation seemed different, the lighting seemed different, and more like TNG. So I don't know. I didn't notice it. But a lot of people were pointing that out on my first reaction last night. So
I thought the space shots looked a bit different, but I thought darker and worse, honestly. Less like their normal style. Like the stars are way too exaggerated. Yeah, whichever. Yeah. But yes, we start with Lynn. Instantly, you know whose it's going to be. She's on party patrol. And it is worth noting, this is before everyone goes crazy. Because in second watch, you can kind of tell when it transitions. But... or not. Yeah, you probably can, but she's not that conflicted yet, right? So this has to be normal people, but it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah,
they're escorting these people to Ryza, these socialites kind of thing.
One pleasure planet to the next.
One of the Betazoid women, though, I recognized her voice and I couldn't pin it down. Found out. Do you watch Young Sheldon at all?
Yes.
You know, the president of the university.
Yeah.
She's the voice of one of them.
Gosh.
That's the voice I recognized, yeah.
It's out of typecast. From a principal to a rowdy, bustious Beta-Zedian. And obviously, yes, they came from Angel 1, which is a very free planet. Would have been kind of nice if they'd made reference to...
it'd be neat to see if we get to see if men got their rights on that planet.
Yeah, who needs rights? That would have been kind of fun, though, if they'd made reference of... You know, those men wear too many clothes. And it's like, Jesus, really?
Yeah.
But at least it's there. Nice little reference. So yes, onto Ryza. Although I'm not sure. I know it's obviously part of the. We are just hearing this 2 stops. They've obviously done a larger tour. They've already said that. But you know, if they're trying to get secret information about, you know, going to people's minds and working out who knows what, going to 2 pleasure planets ain't exactly going to help.
Yeah.
The chance of that. You know, go to Andor, go to Tellar, go to you know, but it's fine, right? It's just. Yeah, just keep getting drunk on planets for weeks while other ships get destroyed. Yeah, that's gonna help.
Wow. I do love the reference to I love your Starfleet carpeting.
Yes.
Perfect to pass out on. Every ship needs carpeting. Yes.
Every ship should have carpeting.
Yep. Love it.
And that would have been after season 2 of Picard had been released. So that, you know, it's there in their own world, right? But the fact they're still doing that acknowledges that the fan base wants carpet, which is shocking how many people do, but we do.
So yeah, Talin's not impressed with their shenanigans, and she's doing up her little personal log or outgoing message to her former Vulcan ship. So it's kind of all voiceover at the beginning there.
It's good though. She does a good job. And it's really good choice of the actress. We could tell from season 3, season 2, whichever, but she does it really well, and she puts a lot of skill into the non-emotions. Or this is one where she's being pushed to the limit. She's angry. She's annoyed. She's passive. It's good stuff.
And I love that the one lady hits on Ransom, and he's like, "Hey, I got off at 1,300 hours," and she's like, "No, oh man, I like them when they play hard to get. I can be this distant." It's great.
Yeah,
That reminded me of Loxana, who
that's true. The Halos.
loved the chase.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you get married in the nude, you can imagine other things happen in the nude as well around their culture. So, you know, and if you can be inside people's minds, it's the most intimate thing. There's an openness to that culture which is unlike ours. So just let's bang your tour guides because, you know, the other lady's like, "Hey, Captain."
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm married."
I'm happily married. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
is he here?
But I appreciate though it's so rarely noted about her and it's the guy from Futurama. Is that from Futurama?
Which one?
Hermes. It's her and Hermes from Futurama, and you got a sense in the season 1. It's like, well, they're kind of estranged. No, they're still married. It's like, oh, cool. I mean, I'm glad they didn't go down that path of family drama because it's nice. You know, they're long distance, obviously, and they're co-parenting, long distance, blah blah. But it's nice. She could have, because they could have played that card, right? They could have played the let's play the captain seduced by Betazoid card, but they play and they move away. It's a good balance.
But they send Lynn to get more drinks, and then they head off to
thrilled.
the.
She looks thrilled.
Yeah.
Isn't that an ensign job anyway?
And what's that?
Is that an ensign's job anyway?
I guess so.
10th junior grade, really.
Well, Tiana's there, and she's like, "Hey, I didn't know we were gonna have a buffet today." Buffet. Oh yeah, she's just joking. In the ancient past, Caitians used to hunt and eat betazoids. Don't consume anybody. I love Captain Freeman.
She's like, "This is a joke. Oh, I'll be on the joke."
Yeah.
And
but that was centuries ago.
I'm shocked they didn't mention Bullock's 9-pack because that's such a setup. Because he's the fit virgin, and they didn't even play into that. And I was just shocked by it, okay? Genuinely shocked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, and then she's like, "Oh, we eat synthetic, it's fine." And then she watches them go by and like burns Billups with the thermal regenerator. She's not paying attention.
Yeah. That must mean there's no Betazoid on the crew. Otherwise, Tiana beats this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Point. And we got a really cool hat that was picked up on Angel 1. It's Romulan ale o'clock somewhere.
Boy, when they legalized it, that merch went everywhere, didn't it? Because that shit was illegal for like 100 years. Nope, legalized. We're gonna just flaunt it, aren't we? Which is, you know what, is great. I'm absolutely fine with it.
Yeah.
Because I do certainly I mention it in my films, so you know.
As you should.
Yeah.
But Talin brings back drinks and they're like, "We don't need those. We're heading to the bar right now." It's like, okay. Thanks.
And this scene especially reminds me of those great memes which I think you shared with me once. It's Darth Vader, the Mandalorian, the 9 faces, angry, sad, happy. It's just a mask. You can see in her face everything you need to see, but there's nothing in that face. But because we as the audience projecting, it comes across despite there not being anything there. So good job for them. Because you can just imagine she's like, I had to walk all the way, order drinks, and they probably smell horrible because she has a huge sense of smell. And they bubble and everything. There's like a fume coming off them. She's like, I hate everything about this. You know, because they don't even touch food. You have to touch alcohol containers. Like, it's so against her. And they're cold. What's it called? Body temperature, the room temperature, or nothing, Stuart?
Yeah, room temperature water. It's her thing. Yeah, so anyway, there's a party going on now in the mess hall. And everybody's really, really partying.
And is this before everyone goes crazy? Are you gonna put your...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I would agree.
Because then they cut back to Talin's quarters and just see that she's finishing up her message to the Captain Sokel, and it will not send. Signal blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mariner comes in and says, "Yeah, we're not going to be able to send that because we're in like a blackout right now, security blackout, while the Zoids are on board, the Beta Zoids." So,
and what do you think of Mariner's vibe here? Because this is a non-emotive person who she's working with, kind of the reverse of Boimler. She's being really attentive, but in a friendly way. What do you think of why she might be doing this, or as a duo?
Well, to just get Lynn to feel welcome, I guess. I kind of like that she stopped by to invite her. It's just Mariner being Mariner. She would have done the same to any of them. But is
season one her though?
Oh no, but see, she's changed a lot since season one. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
And they see a few examples of how she's changed in this episode, actually. So,
that's what I'm trying to highlight, yeah. But also, I wonder if potentially, because there's got to be. I feel like Mariner's such a deeper meaning kind of character. Everything she does is motivated. I feel like perhaps she's seeing in Lynn the, I don't really want to be here. I don't want promotion. This is not good. And that is what Mariner was in season one when she, didn't want to be there, etc. So maybe she's seeing how she's evolved, and she's like, she's felt the crew evolve over time. She's thinking, no, we are actually a really good crew. This is worthwhile doing. Maybe she's trying to convince her, because the way she's being overly attentive, I feel like, unless there's maybe that extra vibe. What do you think?
Well, Lynn's new on board this season, so she hasn't been on board very long. I think Mariner just wants her to feel included, and yes, she has a better respect for her crew and stuff now because of her character growth. So, yeah.
I wonder if there's like a deeper meaning.
I don't think so.
But I like that she's just the vibe, because, it's fun.
I do got to give them props for putting in the painting in Lynn's quarters of the statues on Vulcan. Mm-hmm. That was a nice little touch.
Super unnecessary, yet super necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we like to see.
And then we cut to Boimler and Rutherford, and Boimler is trying to name everybody on the crew, and he gets stuck on Sleepy Merp.
Yeah, what are the three Merps? Because there's three.
It is, let's see, just Merp, Big Merp, and Sleepy Merp.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. In a good way, like
they're like Pokemon.
Gotta merp them all.
They're all Merps, but there's just the regular Merp. There's the Big Merp, and then there's the.
That's what I mean. Is that a cultural thing? Are they all?
No.
Because he wouldn't know nicknames, would he? He'd be too professional for that. I like these little gags where there's some thought put in clearly, but I don't know what it is exactly. And it's so Boimler. But wouldn't he have really learned the crew? Isn't that even more Boimler? I don't know.
Yeah, but the crew's always rotating in and out. Like there's always getting transfers and stuff. So I don't know. It's just, especially now. He even says, now that I'm a higher rank, I should definitely know everybody's name. But yeah, it was kind of nice because Rutherford's like, that's my friend you're calling an idiot there, because Boimler says, I'm an idiot. And he just beating himself up about it. And he's like, I'll come and join you after I've memorized everybody's name, because then I would have felt like I earned it.
Which is again very him.
Yeah.
The problem is, of course, there's going to be like, because it's a really big ship. Cerritos is overly big for it's oddly big. It's going to take him a long time. So he's not going to go to the party.
If he was only on the M's. Yeah. But as Rutherford leaves, he messages Shax and says, I think we have a candidate for the program. And it gets all dark and menacing.
And for some reason, I know it doesn't make any sense, and I accept that, but the way that was lit reminded me of X-Men 2. When Stryker's like, it's the program, Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why, but just the way, just like the program, or like the Bourne program.
Yeah.
I love this Lynn moment. It's not logical to press it. That's such a.
And she's tapping her finger like she just wants to send it.
Because that is understanding Vulcans, because they are logical, but logic is deterministic by the person using it. It can be logical to be logic extremists in Discovery and blow stuff up. If you work your way into it, it can be logical to do this. It's a fascinating. Fascinating. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, but the one thing I was thinking during this whole scene is it logical to talk to yourself? These are just thoughts that I think would be internally monologued by a Vulcan. I don't think she would actually talk to herself.
Now that's an interesting one.
Small thing, but
would that be logical for the showrunner to write a scene where they're internally monologuizing and they don't actually say anything in the scene?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be better. Just saying.
No,
she decides the most logical thing to do is find out when the communications blackout will be over, so she leaves.
No, she doesn't ask the computer. But and then again, are we still implied this is nothing going on? Because I don't quite buy Ransom's crazy here. Because no one's got the eye thing yet. Mixmo's about to throw the thing. So is it because she's getting close that it's affecting? I'm assuming it's the start of the madness.
It could be. I think this is what starts it.
It is actually, because you can see the eyes are below the people in the background. Okay, so it's being subtle. Okay, so yeah, it's now officially. Oh, I love Mixamo. I'm sorry, but it's such a funny gag, being pissed at the replicator. I like that. It's a very Trek joke.
Because it barely even tastes like it's been in my mother's mouth. Oh.
Well, we just had Cations eating thingies, so let's not be surprised at this. This is the length we're going here.
Yeah. I love how Tendy's like, you came to talk to me? If you can answer my question, then yes.
You don't know anything. You're medical. Don't need you right now. Oh, she's like, I waited for this moment. It's like, what are you on about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tendy has fun here, and Rutherford's. These are fun little scenes. It's kind of like Naked Now, isn't it? It's their version of it. Everyone has a bit of fun here. Until
Mixamo uses a phaser on the replicator, and then gets tackled by Ransom.
Why has he got a phaser? He's the bloody shrink. Why is he carrying a phaser out for lunch? I love that. It's so
phaser therapy. Set it on low stun, and you like. Zzz.
Or don't you know if you put it on 0.5 on the back, it's like a massager. Zzz,
yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really funny. Now, I will admit, in this scene, you could tell things are going wonky. Already I was thinking, why is Lynn not affected? Is it because she's so emotionally stable, because she is a good Vulcan? But obviously, second watch, it makes a lot more sense.
But how many times has a Vulcan not been affected, or the android's not affected, but everybody else is?
Well, they play both sides of that. They also play the...
Well, they did.
It's so magical, he is being affected.
There's a lot of twists in this one. Like, you think you got to figure it out, and then it's not. And it's the other thing. And it's like, yeah. But yeah, on the second watch, it's definitely more interesting to see what's going on behind. So. But Tylin's like, hey, actually, you're right. You guys are acting a little bit more weird than usual. And Freeman gets up on the bar, because the Betazoids say, we didn't realize Starfleet could party like this. And she's like, we can't really. What? Pull yourselves together. Stop embarrassing me.
Yeah, I like.
And then Rutherford, this is as controlled as I can get. Yeah.
It's such an unusual way of framing this, because everyone's not being pushed too far, but just a bit, and they are drinking as well. It's an interesting vibe. I do like the captain here. She's a good captain. She's well represented.
And when Barnes goes to stop the ship from getting to Ryza and gets Vulcan neck pinched, everybody's like, boo! You can't boo your captain! That's great. It's great.
It's good. It's a good way of this. So I mean, like, there's really good moments. It's a small moment kind of episode.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that the Beta
I found this scene very hectic, though. Way too hectic for me.
Yeah. It's right on the edge for me. It's right on the edge.
Yeah. A little crazy.
Well, it was interesting that, because obviously I was thinking about what the Betazoids are doing the whole episode in the second watch, because you know the twist, that they are just there to have fun, really, because right now they're not doing scanning, but they're looking and they're not actually doing anything, because they're like, we just had 3 weeks of partying, so they're not even thinking anything that weird of this, because they're crazy Betazoids, right? I kind of like, but there's things to look at. It's kind of fun there.
But that final shot before the cut to the next scene where they're all sipping on their drink and they got that like, you know, very kind of sinister look on their faces. It's like, oh yeah, they're behind this or something. So, yeah.
I like it. It's I love Barnes' impulse joke. That's great. Because that's when things get real bad. Yeah. Oh, and also, did you notice the people in the back playing a board game on Enterprise D?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and one of the Murphs. Wait, not Murphs. What's the name? Merps.
Merps.
Is that Sleepy Merp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now you have... Now this is one thing that makes more sense the second play around. They go into an unusual corridor. I'm guessing security protected corridor. And they do... Again, first time you don't notice it. Second time they say, we're far away, so not disturbed. Which does give the caveat as to why not affected, because it's far enough away. That's great. Weird set of corridor, but not that different, but feel very different. Kind of...
It would make sense for ships to have like security access corridors that like security have security and like weapons lockers in that they can access main parts of the ship. That would make a lot of sense. That were kind of off limits to everybody else, especially like visiting dignitaries and stuff. That's the thing that always bothered me about Enterprise D. They kind of always just had free roam of the ship.
That is always the truth. See, I don't know. There's only so much room on the ship, and you've already got Jeffrey's tubes and main corridors and rooms. Where are you putting the extra bonus corridor? And as you can see, it's a giant corridor. This thing is I don't know what they're exactly trying to say here, or it could just be this is like the security zone where they all congregate and do training. Like that I could buy. So it's more of a one-off area. But I like just seeing these two together. Because almost every group, every pair there's a unique pair in every group in the show.
There's like a Jeffrey's tube access there as well, which is kind of nice. So if it is a security type thing, they can get into Jeffrey's tube if the ship gets invaded or whatever.
But guys, super chat your thoughts and comments. We haven't had one in a bit. We'd love to know your thoughts. And vote in the poll as well. We're having a fun old time chatting, but you guys bring us in with the chat. Let us know.
That's right. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I just don't want to be interrupted. I'm going to learn something really cool.
Some action.
And then, no, it's Worf. Torn between worlds. Slam poetry. No, a farm boy. Wow.
I liked this. I kind of wanted a second round with Keishon.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, doesn't make any sense. Like, that would have been fun. Now, are they implying... Because we see later on, this is the group that storms a bridge. Is this the entire security team?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's probably some off-duty in the partying it up in the bar.
Because it's kind of impossible to tell, what with them being the two brands of orange.
Yeah.
Also, moustache guy. Because there is almost no facial hair in Trek. That's why you often have to... Because I remember when Dad was in my first film, we had to justify why he has facial hair. There's a few instances, but it's quite rare. Moustache guy. Cool.
Moustache. You moustached him a question.
Yeah. And then the bar... Everyone's... Those people are just... There's so much raucousness. It is a bit crazy.
Why won't anyone listen to me? Damn it, I'm the captain. And this Romero's like, yeah, I say we lock all these fools in the brig, including me.
She knows.
Yeah.
It's a good fine balance here.
And then the T'Lyn says the heightened emotional state of the crew could be caused by the Beta Zeds being on board because they're guests and it's unusual. So, and Freeman's like, the Betazoids? No way. They're so nice. The Lorax said I'm hot. You're so friggin' hot, Mom. And I'm doing something different with my hair, sweetie. That's just great. It was a great moment between Mariner and her mom there.
Yeah, it's real silly in a good way.
Yeah.
But it's nice seeing them together. There's no weird vibes there. They just get on. It's really nice. Although I'd imagine that the mum's really proud because she's probably now been a 2-rank officer for a couple of weeks now. Probably a record.
Yeah. Well, she did make it to actual full lieutenant a couple times, so
Does she?
She's only yeah. She's only a lieutenant junior grade right now. So
when was she? Or was it just on the DS9 flashback?
There's on the DS9 flashback. It's mentioned once or twice that
Yeah.
she's been to lieutenant like a few times.
But that could be junior grade though.
It could be, yeah, it could be. So.
But yes.
But anyway, yeah.
Convinces.
So they mention Xanthi fever, Xanthi fever, which was the Waxana had that at one point. So you're like, okay, these are older Betazoid women, maybe.
Careful.
We got to take them to get scanned. Yeah.
It's very.
And Dr.
Logical.
Tiana, look at Dr. Tiana to scan them, and she's like chasing her tail.
But in fairness, pulls her shit together.
She does.
Good for her. And does the job. I like there's a fine balance here because no one's crazy. They're just heightened, right? And then when they're throwing booze in as well, and the Betazoids are the dodgy vibes come out here. But I like this. Like no, but we're gonna do it. Hold back. We're gonna. So it keeps a nice level of what's going on here. But in retrospect, obviously, it's like it's fine. It's fine. We're all Federation here. It's fine. But I like this.
Yeah. We went in sickbay when they list a few things and then Xanthi fever, and they're like, Xanthi fever, we're not old enough. And Freeman's like, come on now, we're all ladies of a certain age. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I kind of laughed at that.
Well, it's like the same joke we made with Sarek and Lynn later. They half do, but yeah. Stuff happens. It's all right. Nothing to be ashamed of. Just to give everyone a crazy fever thing.
But Captain Freeman's good at her job, and she knows that these are the variables, and her crew's acting weird. So she's like, "You're not leaving. It doesn't matter if the scan came back negative. You're doing something."
Which makes, in fairness, makes total sense.
Which even Mariner sticks up for the guests, which Mariner normally wouldn't do. She's like, these are guests, these are diplomats. Mom, they did nothing wrong. No, like season 1 Mariner would be like, yeah, you guys are doing something. I'll help you find out what it is.
Her phase would already be out.
Yeah, she's changed a lot over the course of these seasons. So
I did say give her time, and people were annoyed by her. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, they did, but this is often the case. In TNG, how many times does Picard say "trust me" and they do without evidence? So it's a hard line. Now, luckily, we know she's right, and she doesn't push too hard. And it's not the end of the world to say be confined to quarters for a little bit. Like, there's no obligation for them to party on the ship. So the balance here is really good, I think. But yes, it does force them to say "F this."
They go full Charlie's Angels.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Although they also hide a phaser somewhere. So, I'm not sure where they're hiding a phaser. Yeah, how do they get a phaser through the scanners, through the transporter? Or do you think because the diplomats not being scanned in the same way? Do you think it'd be super dodgy?
Maybe it's a mysterious black phaser. It's a stealth phaser.
Stealth phaser.
It's made of plastic. It's like plastic guns that can get through metal detectors. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. It's the Magneto phaser. It's all made of glass.
Yeah.
But this is a fun moment. I like their outfits. I really do like their outfits.
But I love how
she has
Freeman's
legs for
like,
days, Stuart. She has legs for absolute days.
I've noticed. Yeah. I love how Freeman's like, see, I knew it. I knew you were up to something. I'm good at my job.
Which is fair. That's crazy. And Lynn is trying to beat them up in a... And the animators, man, they have so much less work to do and the character can have no emotion. They have to change their face much. Yeah. Although, actually, that's interesting. I guess it takes 3 because Lynn is significantly stronger than them. But I guess, with the lipstick tasers.
Well, they're also trained intelligence officers, we find out soon, so...
Yeah, but they can't win against security officers, so they're not that well trained. There's always a fine balance of... It's like whenever there's those films where they say, we've hired the best mercenaries in the world, and our character can beat them in 5 seconds. Like, well, so if they're the best, why wouldn't you train them better than the best place or the other place being trained? What's the good training if they get killed? Who has the best training? Why wouldn't you always just keep iterating your training to make better training? Sorry, that annoys me in films.
Well, then we get Kayshawn doing some charades, and I love his thumbs. They got the little proper ends on his thumbs. And Bornholm's like, yes, Odo, Deep Space Nine.
Look,
it was great.
Bucket. Oh, and look, the chair's got folding legs, like a real.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid thing.
So, Cat, his eyes open.
And it's sad because Boyle normally very excited by this, so it's quite, he's very disappointed right now.
Yes, Scottish Nightmare. Hid in their ample bosoms, yes.
I should steal this room design. This is quite a good room.
It is.
It's like, nothing's going on, and yet it feels like everything's going on.
I think it's supposed to be the main, like, security office. Big security thing on the wall. And they got the weapons. They got the phasers and the...
But why would security have temporary folding chairs and temporary folding tables? That's
for party night, for game night, for
you know what I mean?
Slam poetry night. Come on.
Yeah. But if it's their proper formal area, they're not getting the shitty desk chair. There'd be proper offices. But yeah, imagine all the different things on the walls are all open on the walls. Yeah. He tries to attack Trax. How tall is Trax that the guy can go around his head? That's crazy.
Yeah, when I saw that scene, I'm like, I would like to see that in live action.
Yep. I've heard that before, yeah.
You know what Boimler looks like? I can just imagine him like on top of somebody, like.
Oh yeah, because obviously the actor is giant, so it's double whammy of like. Yep, this Trax must be like 8'3" or something.
Yeah, it's funny when they fold up all the chairs, they're putting them aside. It'd be great if one of those panels in the wall slides out and it's just like folding chairs stacked up, like phaser rifles, but just folding chairs.
Yeah. But speaking of folding, we're going to fold all our hopes and dreams as ancient box. All the drama, all the action. It's a great looking box.
Ooh, the ritual.
Pick the secret, special, amazing thing. And I love the fact that both Bajoran. Well, okay, one's Bajoran.
Well, I love this. Yeah, Starfleet security series of puzzles, I guess.
That is true. I hadn't caught that. Yeah, because he's obviously the most famous Starfleet security officer.
The first, yeah.
Because who was the security officer of the colony, of the Enterprise?
It was kind of Chekhov.
Exactly. Yeah. There really isn't one, right? There's no one you associate being that role. Enterprise D, of course, Worf. They've already mentioned Worf. Odo, they've mentioned Odo. So in fact, they're hitting all of the different famous people in one go, which is awesome.
But I love the NX-01 and Enterprise love. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it deserves it, right?
And I was like, what kind of choice is that? He chose both. Yay!
I mean, why not?
Read alert, yes. The read alert.
Oh. There's a joke there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's nice we got the NX-01 in 2 different shows.
Same week.
Same week. Amazing.
Yeah, very short treks and this, so yeah. Guys, hit the like button. We have 50 people watching and 39 likes. I want to get to 50 likes. I also want more super chats. We haven't had a super chat in a while, so please super chat in. We really appreciate it. We want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, anything you have to say about this episode.
I concur.
See? I knew that would happen. Anyway. So we get the girls and Freeman going up to the bridge, and we find out they're BIA, which is Betazoid Intelligence Agency. Yeah. I love when she walks on the bridge. She's like, bridge crew, take them down. And everybody does their thing. But not.
Well, yeah. Does their thing. And they sort of tonally go into it in the turbo lift, but that's a Federation body because they're part of the Federation. Like, I don't know if you'd be allowed to have a non-secret spy organization that isn't approved by the Federation. You know what I mean? So these are good guys. You
would assume every planet has their like security agency, because we've heard of the Obsidian Order, we've heard of all these other ones, right? So
those are dodgy
makes
places,
sense.
Though, in fairness.
Yeah, but every planet would have them. They'd have to.
I mean, I've heard the Rice and IA.
They might not.
No, I think theirs are the most dangerous because you think.
Well, they seduce you, and then they get all the information from you. And that's how that works.
Well, obviously, we complimented them last year. There is that one guy from Riser in Discovery who did a very good job being. Until he wasn't. The operative person.
That's the best thing about the Ryzen Intelligence Agency. They never have to leave the planet. Everyone comes to them.
Yeah.
See?
Hey, truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the bridge crew thing because they fail miserably, and also you can pretty much tell they're not affected, so they're going out of the range of Talin's power. I wish they'd made a point of that either the girls on the bridge were lessening their craziness and make it a story point, or if they'd said I don't know how in dialogue or at the end that Talin supercharged them with their telepathy, so when she interacted with them at the start of the episode, they became these beacons that spread the range.
But that didn't start then. It only started because she couldn't send the message and she was frustrated.
No, but she went to the mess hall. That's what everyone else meant. Granted.
Yes, that's true.
So she charged them there, and so they're then continuing it.
They could have amplified it, yeah.
Like they soaked up that stuff, because otherwise it's weird that they would continue here.
Well, Freeman does say you're affecting our emotions, and they're like, no, we aren't. Our emotions are all over the place too. Like, why do I want to kiss Catron?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're still being affected a little bit here, but yeah, I wish there would have been like declining.
Because I feel like when the security team walk in, they're not being affected at all. You can tell, and yet the girls still are. And you would think they would calm down and not want to, attack Starfleet security. But it is what it is.
Well, we find out their mission here, though, because they say we're on a multi-planet mission to telepathically look for clues that can explain the attacks in the quadrants. So they're just pretending to be socialites, going to planets, kind of partying, getting vibes off of people. I like it.
And they hopefully start a whole new subplot. The love story between these two bridge officers could be a bright, wonderful future for these two.
Yeah.
Watch this space jerk. They'll get married. Ah!
Yeah.
They'll get married in the chapel, and then suddenly the Romulans are going to attack. Every generation, there's always a Romulan attack after people in the chapel.
But they plan to get to Ryza sooner, so they make a shortcut through the neutral zone.
Going back to Beta Z.
Beta Z, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, why the hell is Beta the other side of the neutral zone?
It's not. You're thinking two-dimensionally, my friend. They're just taking a shortcut. They're going through...
Yes.
That neutral zone line could go like this, and they're just like... just to save time. They want to get back as fast as possible, because they're not thinking straight.
Yes, but that's not... But no... Where's their planet and where's...
Don't know.
Because because that's the thing. If that neutron isn't necessarily three-dimensional, it could be a curve, which means you could go over it, but they're not going over it, they're going through it. They say that. So why would you go through it? If they're going through it, then just go around it. Like, it doesn't make sense to go through it.
Yeah, don't overthink it, though. It's just...
It's the wrong neutral zone.
It's a shortcut. They're not thinking straight. They don't care. They just want to get back to Beta Z as soon as possible.
Although, look, they got Romy. Romulus and Romy. It's back again. Yay.
Yeah. And that's actually, see that neutral zone? Big red line? That would be the couple of light years distance that is the neutral zone, not a meter.
Yep. We'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
And boy, we're really close to Romulan neutral zone headquarters. It's crazy. That is very... Because look, if that's a real scale map, they're about as far away from the zone as Romulus is from the zone. I thought Romulus was deep in Federation space. I guess not. Oh well, we're overthinking it. They don't know what they're doing.
I'm using the exact same map that was in TOS, that's why.
Oh. Speaking of exact things in TOS, you remember that naked maneuver in TOS? Well, it did it again. Why is this happening?
What do you mean naked? Oh, what do you mean naked maneuver? Oh, the making a pyramid?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And everybody falls. So sad. And TNF breaks out of the restraints. All right, it's time to shred those party girls into brisket. She's gonna go eat some people.
Oh dear.
Mariner's like, oh my god, she made an oath not to consume patients. We gotta stop her.
What a line. What a line.
Yeah, because do no harm or eat your patients.
Yeah. But she's also a crazy doctor, so is it even surprising even anyway?
Nope.
There you go.
But they find out that the cause of it all is T'Lyn, because the tricorder was still scanning, and she can't get Xanthi fever, but they have similar conditions such as Bendai syndrome again, and they reference Sarek later in the episode. But yeah, love that. That's great. And she's too young for it, even though she's 62. I love how Mariner doesn't miss a beat. It's like, oh, 62, you look great, and then continues on.
Well, the way you said that reminds me of the Chris Rock with the guy from Avengers. Damn! Like, doesn't miss a beat. You're in 60s, damn. It's like that, but the reverse. Like, oh, positive. And it's a good reveal. It's so obvious when you watch it again. But I like it as a twist. It makes sense. Maybe they're implying that T'Lyn is especially gifted when it comes to telepathy, because I don't imagine there's almost any way that Spock would be so emotionally turmoiled as to affect everyone around him. Because I'm pretty sure he's been that turmoil throughout his life, and this is like in TOS, or even Bloody in Stranger Worlds. You know, when he's singing in the goddamn musical episode.
Yeah, but he doesn't have.
Well, he's half. Fair, he's half.
He's half, and yeah, it might not have passed on to him as well. The gene for that.
But then, did they say she actually has that disease, or just it's
no? They
like
didn't.
That? Yeah, so it's still.
But she might have the markers for that disease later in life, and Spock might not have had them, even though his dad had them. Okay. Again, I think that's.
Well, if you
it's never really clearly explained, but that's kind of the vibe I got.
If we don't talk about it, then we're just gonna burn through it, Stuart. We've got to debate the stuff that's interesting. Because otherwise, are we saying that she maybe has extra special, teller powers compared to a normal Vulcan, which is a fun setup for later? Because it seems very effortless. She both generates a field and then diminishes it. It's interesting. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Mariner says it might just be a quarter-life crisis, like when Boimler grew a beard or grew a mustache at 25. So that's obviously after Mariner knew Boimler, so we know kind of the age gap there, or the age range.
Although since you leave the academy at like 22,
you leave the academy however number of years after you sign up. You don't have to sign. You don't initially go in at 18.
True.
You can go to the academy at any age.
I know you can go in at 16 because Chekhov did, but
if you're brilliant enough, yeah.
Yeah, but it feels like it's implied that Boimler went in straight away because he was enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Guess not.
Well, Grant McGregor though is enthusiastic and throws in a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Grant.
So much.
He says, "Out of a job, so my supers will be sparse." Oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry for finding enough money for your plane tickets. Huh? I'm wondering if T'Lyn is a special Vulcan, like Special Boy Wesley Crusher, special Wesley. Yeah, probably.
Because that would also explain why she's been introduced to the show. Maybe she'll be specially in tune with the Great Koala. Who knows?
Maybe she'll become a traveler as well.
Or the Great Koala itself. Maybe it's a time loop thing.
Sure.
But we're at 61 votes. Let's finish out the poll and start a new one. What do you think of the episode? We have a 43% sorry, loved it. 28% liked it. 23% is okay. And only 6% did not like it. So it's a strong hitter for this audience. Good job. Do another one now.
All right, guys, hit the like button. We need 2 more likes to get to that 50 that I was asking for. Thank you, Grant, even though you shouldn't be sending super chats if you're out of a job, but thank you. We appreciate it. Anyway, if you want to super chat in, though, we want to hear your thoughts. It really helps out the channel, supports us, and it does help the analytics as well. The algorithm pushes us because it shows that you guys want to engage with the channel in a monetary way, and Google appreciates that because Google gets a cut of that. Just saying. Help us out if you can. Yes. 50. Hit 50 likes. Good job, guys. But 57 of you here, I think we can do better. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, do it. The math doesn't add up. 50 people only, or 57 people only 50 likes. Come on.
New poll.
You pull this up. Tlin! Which is supposed to be spelled with a Y. I don't know if you knew that.
Nope.
Where does she rank in terms of the favorite character in Lower Decks? Tlin is my fave. Tlin is my second fave. Tlin is my third fave. Tlin is not my fave. Nice.
I'm interested. Because we only had like 3 episodes of meaningful, but that could be enough to sway you. She's doing quite well.
Deedly doodly.
But yes, now
anyway,
we know where to go. We have a direction now.
And they're like, we'll be there in the neutral zone in 5 minutes. It's like, there's no need to update me in every little thing. And that's where Freeman's like, no. Oh, yeah, the Romulans, they can't catch me because then they'll get all my secret intel. Please don't read my mind.
Yep.
And then
no one saw that coming. Yeah.
Here's the other lady call her a sanctimonious buzzkill.
Which I didn't remember the first time, but it is there. I thought it was kind of extra moment.
Yeah, it's great. I wish it would have been elaborated a little bit, like over the top, like she's remembering it differently on purpose to make it worse. That would have been good, but then they have a bit of a fight about being a buzzkill and an alcoholic.
Oh, it's only for the roles, Jason.
Yeah. You must be undercover all the time.
Oh, harsh. Maybe, General. Maybe.
Ooh, then we get the tarot cards. The celestial temporal, the orbs.
Oh, that's what they are. Yeah.
Durna. The emissary, there's Cisco.
Cisco with the beard.
Invasion. That means rebirth. Every card means rebirth. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, she has chips as well. And it is, you know, you pointing out, is it all just California class security don't do anything? Because this is very undynamic. But of course, 9.3 times out of 10, there ain't firefights happening. What else are they doing? Well, everything else in their job description, right? They've got to find a purpose, make a purpose. You know, there's more to do. That's okay.
That was a real dig at them. Like, all you do is sit around and play games, guys. What the hell?
And they take it well as well, because they could be really angry, but, you know, good for them.
On the bridge, they're still arguing, and it gives Freeman a chance to hit the red alert button, which times perfectly with what Boimler's saying. I just want to see some action. Alarm goes off. And I love how... Oh, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, I love how everybody just jumps to attention, and Kayshawn, like, throws his arms back and does this, like...
Naruto run, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is great. This is exactly the vibe you want. If it's not action, they can just do them. They can do whatever they need, and then boom, they go into action. But I'm just thinking this in the screen cap. I get they're a red alert, right? Why is every light panel in this goddamn room gone red? That is incredibly unnecessary. In TOS, the little box on the wall that goes red, and there's a siren. In TNG, there's a small line that goes red. Why the hell is everything going red?
This is the security office. It's more important that they know immediately.
Because the klaxon and one light wouldn't be enough. It's so obnoxious and so animated.
What if they're being hypnotized by somebody and they're like, all like, and they see the red because the whole room turns red? It's like, oh, well, shit. I don't know. I think it's fine.
It's really obnoxious. It would never happen. It's just too much. Animated. But they phaser kind of like Nemesis.
Yeah, big phasers, little phasers, all the phasers.
It's a phaser rifle, Boimler, you know.
And Tlin and Mariner run into everybody, and they're like, what's going on? And I think I'm affecting people, and then Tlin's like, no, you're my best friend. Anyway. And then they start running after Tlin. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, my God. There's a scene where T'Lyn and Mariner are running away, and the Cation on the floor is exactly the same face and animation style from the animated series.
Do you mean Kazinti?
Exactly. The Kinzinti, yes. Sorry. It's exactly the same. What the hell?
Oh, is that not the one we've had in the other episode?
It is, but he doesn't look like that.
Oh.
He's not as detailed as that. That's almost exactly like from the animated series.
That's great. Yeah. Also,
That's
the guys
funny.
got the game as well, just to
Yeah.
it's all the things. And they go into a random cupboard.
Yep.
She can't kick a problem, therefore it's the end of days. Yeah. Very Mariner.
But she gets her emotions regulated, rebalanced. And then T'Lyn goes into the whole thing about how she's not a good Vulcan. And Mariner's like, what are you talking about? You're like the most Vulcan I know, kind of thing. And they figure out it's the inability to send a message. And, it's had her preoccupied and stuff. So, anyway, it's pretty good.
Although, of course, we know that she's not a very Vulcan. That's kind of the point. But obviously, Mariner's, the human perspective is so different that you're so unhappy and happily and whatever. But the conversation gets more engaging in the next thing. But yes, we cut to security unaffected. So I kind of like the idea that I said in our review that they are better trained in terms of mental protection, that they can withstand this sort of mental whatever. So they're not affected, because we know they're to be affected because the bridge they're still affected. Or we could argue T'Lyn is so far away, but they shouldn't be.
Or T'Lyn never came in contact with them. Any of them. So.
It's true. I hadn't considered that so there's no range, there's just...
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's also true. And I love the fact that Borman can't keep up, because it's a subtle way of saying they are better trained than you. They're ready for this. You're not ready for this. You're some, pipsqueak pilot. Subtle, but I like it.
I love them all, posed with their guns, and Borman's like, it's great. Hey, baby, it's okay. Want to do some of those relaxation techniques? It's like, I hate those goddamn things. Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's nice to see them relationship-y. As dysfunctional and stabby as it is. Because it's all of those things.
But we're on a time crunch. Look, we're heading towards the neutral zone, guys. We gotta solve this.
Because there may be some Romulans there. Who knows, right? They wouldn't be
Very
lurking,
likely.
would they? I mean, maybe. It's not as if Romulans tend to lurk. But maybe they do. I don't know. Don't judge.
Mm. Then we come back to the closet of the room, and I love how Mariner's like, T'Lyn, I hate to say it, but your previous crew were a bunch of fucking idiots. You're one of the most, how does she put this? You're one of the most brutally efficient, distant people I have ever met. What was your captain's name? Sokol? Man, fuck Captain Sokol. It's hilarious.
Obviously, it works best because she's under the influence, but this is what Lower Decks does.
Well, she's also had her emotions balanced as well, so this is still Mariner being Mariner.
No, that is true. But it just feels so right for the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's true, and I hadn't necessarily considered it. It is an overreaction. Is that logical? Maybe not. Maybe they are doing subtext and subtext of, maybe there is some deeper, darker reason for, her getting him getting her off the ship. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and then it's like it's a disproportionate reaction to you saving your ship and being basically punished for it for a minor character flaw. It's like Bandai syndrome. There's nothing more Vulcan than that. Spock's dad had it, and he was Vulcan as a motherfucker.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And we do get our double dumbass new moment.
No, we get a logic, bitch. Logic, bitches.
I mean, to Lynn, she also says, she reiterates. So therefore, we get the double dumbass on you.
Yeah.
Where Spock reiterates the fruity language.
Well, what she says is, I suppose by the transverse property,
yes,
I too must be Vulcan as a motherfucker.
Yes. I like it.
Logic, bitches. That's great.
It's ridiculous. I'm sure the Marin actress loved it because it's just she makes all the ridiculous catchphrases. And they're mostly swearing based.
Yeah. And then that kind of the tricorder shows that it's the telepathic symptoms are now faded. And they were tied to her unresolved conflicts and her desire to get back to her ship, I guess.
Well, I mean, she said in the speech, she's such a bad Vulcan. It's not just getting back. Is she such a poor version of her culture?
Yeah.
That therefore it's more a case of if she can get back, is just for them to accept her in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
It's sad. And then it's, walking with Vulcans not a lot, so they have the simple tiny moment of her declenching her hands, and that's all you need to do to express the sort of the it's a feeling, but also it's just a moment. Yeah, it's a nice little, Vulcans are tricky, but you can do them really well, and then Lower Decks does them pretty damn well.
I love when Mariner 2 says, "Damn, Vulcan brains are scary strong, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
And then they open the door and everybody falls in. Why did we bust the door down? What's going on?
Hey guys, why am I in my underwear?
Yeah. And then we see everybody in the mess hall come to their senses.
Yes.
I love how Miglimo walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Just whistling. It's great.
The Miglimo arc. Now that's the B plot we wanted to see.
Yes.
Miglimo versus the Replicator. And then a bit of tension in the turbo lift as they go out. And all the ladies are fine now, and yet they're still... I mean, I guess you've already broken the rules. Might as well double down, I guess, could be the logic.
Well, I assume this is happening at the same time. Like, the effects might not have ended yet. This is happening concurrently.
I mean, they haven't got any under lines. They've just got under age lines, tired lines.
I love when they storm the bridge, though, and Shax is like, now get ready to resist occupation!
Everything comes back around to that old small thing. Occupation. No, it's good. And they kick butt. They show exactly why security is good. And not even phasers. They even do the joke they had earlier, always doing phaser practice, actually beat them up. Well, disable them.
Yeah, and slam poetry was helping that one girl, like, where the soul meets the mind.
And Boydman does nothing.
Yeah. And then Freeman does a, like, 180. And this is the moment that I love the absolute most.
Mm-hmm.
When the Dederidex decloaks and all the Romulans like, "Aww." Made me laugh, and it was the best part of this episode for me.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Because it's such a ridiculous thing. And it's great because Lower Decks, as I said several times now, every time they create something new, it becomes part of the buffer. So by doing the Dederidex an episode, they've got one ready to go. Full Romulan characters in a bridge. You wouldn't just, most of the time, have the budget to do that for one joke. But all that stuff exists now. There's no issue except just building a scene, and you have to fill the time, right? So that makes more sense. So these bigger production scenes can happen without any huge problem. It's funny, it's clever. It's also really dumb, of course, because we're at peace with the Romulans. They wouldn't be allowed to wouldn't be okay. The fact that they're eager to disembowel people, whatever, like the ship, I don't know. And of course they're in the neutral zone anyway, so they're breaking the treaties. So as soon as they decloak, they can be, negativized, because there's no way in hell they have to do another 45 feet to neutral zone point. Because I don't think a single negotiator in the original Accords would allow there to be any part of the zone that's less than one ship across. There's no zone there. There's a neutral step.
Yeah.
So it's a broken scene anyway. And it would have been funnier to me if they'd curved and then the camera zoomed like to the other side and it said Romulan space, decloaked. That would have been funnier to me.
Not even that. just do the swerve and then and then all of a sudden you see this panel of a flashing little dot, and it zooms out again, and it's like you see the Cerritos like little beep like flashing away, and it's like, oh, yeah,
okay.
that would have been better. That would have been better.
Yeah, as if they're waiting for them to cross so they can cross, so they can be the good guys.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, and we've talked about this many times. I talked about this on my live last night. It's a neutral zone. It's a zone. It's like a demilitarized zone. Those can be anywhere from hundreds of feet wide to more, and in space it would be like a couple light years. Minimum. And you account for things like navigational errors. If they kind of drift into it, they have a little bit of leeway to get back to their own side. It's once they hit that halfway point, then it's like, oh, okay, now we need to pay more attention. So yeah, but that's just a cliche and a thing that's been done since TNG, where like Tomalak will decloak, and it's like, we're both sitting at the neutral zone, Captain. Are you though?
Well, yeah, and as I said previously, that was them actually willingly grabbing the villainous Federation at their game, versus this where we're all peaceful and this isn't a thing in the way, right? It's a different, it is what it is, but they didn't produce well. Same non-joke.
Yeah,
it's hard to visualize that. Like they felt the need to have red bleep indicators. Never been a thing, and I wouldn't really see the need for, because sensors. It's like windows in spaceships. Those are only for windows, but the view screen is going to be on. The view screen has a display of the thing from the top in a fancy LCARS display. There's no reason, and like I said, it's such a giant space that the chance of a shuttle dropping out of warp, not realizing they're in the neutral zone, accidentally flying in the neutral zone and not having sensors is so low a probability, because it's the uninhabited part between the two sets of species. There isn't a billion planets, a billion, habitable.
Well, there's been a few instances. There's been a few instances where there's been a planet in the neutral zone, which implies that the neutral zone is quite far across.
Yeah, in's fine because they've been designated a neutral place, but I mean on our side, Anyway, it's just animated.
Yeah,
but yeah, best joke of the episode.
Then the Romulan commander's like, set a course for sector 87. We'll lurk over there.
Okay. That's what we do all day. We lurk. And actually, it is a different bridge to the last one we saw in episode. The one.
It's a different ship. Different ship too.
Very. Yeah. But that's good of them because they didn't have to do another. Because that was very like purple light. Good for them.
Now, is that the commander standing at the thing, or is the captain
I thought that.
sitting in the chair? Like, what?
I thought that. But yes, on to Riser. Huzzah, we made it.
And then we get the whole talk about it's not only about saving you guys from invading, invaders. It's also taking care of your mental health. And Rutherford, cares about you, and we were trying to just give you a day off, a day to relax. Yeah. Emotional well-being is important. Yeah,
very fair. And it's one of those things that is obvious, but you don't think until it's pointed out. What are they doing the rest of the day? They're supporting the ship. It's useful.
I called dibs on Malcolm Reed. Only if you get there first.
Well, he's already shown they're faster than you, but yes.
Yeah. And then we get the Beta Zeds leaving, and sorry, no apologies necessary. I'm sorry I mistook Vulcan telepathic projection for Betazoid telepathic projection. Yeah. I feel like such an idiot.
Yeah. It's such a non-line good line. Yeah.
But they tossed them a parting gift. A Betazoid monitoring station caught a glimpse of the mysterious vessel behind the attack.
Also, it's fun that it's a Betazoid pad as well. It's a different design. It's cool. And this is when I thought stuff was gonna happen. And
me too.
It feels so underwhelming because I understand they didn't know what the ship looked like, but they could have written and they did know what it looked like. This is not it's very underwhelming.
Oh, yeah. Freeman does say, I've never seen a ship like this before. And the beta testers are like, neither have we. It's
That's
like,
a
okay.
non-statement. The statement is we don't know anything, like the audience doesn't. It's like, great, cool. Yeah. And they leave, huzzah. And then the room temperature water.
Don't get all emotional on me. Was I displaying emotion? Ah, you were joking.
Yes. It's good. They're a good double act.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, then comms are back up because we get a selfie, which is great, of the puzzle being completed.
Selfies are back to being canon.
Yeah. And Mariner's like, you can send your message now. And she's like, no, I think I'm going to stay on this ship and continue to study your chaotic ways, I believe she says.
Because that'll totally help you center yourself if you're around chaos the whole time.
Right? You got to tell me when you're...
Our guy's back.
Oh, hello, are you there?
The internet died.
Hello?
That's a great edit.
Hello?
Stuart. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
That was good timing. Tendy's face broke the internet. Because boy, the animators are looking crazy.
Yeah. Anyhow. Well, that's it.
That's it. It's a funny end.
What a ride.
Yeah. The ride is true. It's an experience. We laughed, we learned, we cried, and we
became a part of us.
And we drank all of the ale. Because it's not illegal anymore.
Romulan and otherwise. Yep. That's it. Empathetic. My God, now I can't say it. Empathological. There it is. Empathalogical fallacies. My God, my brain had a moment.
Good job. Good job. So what time is it now for our wonderful audience?
It's party time! Yeah! Woo! Ah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It is time to super chat in your final scores, guys. We want to do our wrap up, our last thoughts, our scoring, and we want to hear from you guys. So super chat in your final scores. I will read those when we're done. If you just want to do it on the regular chat, you can throw those in there, and Sam will read those. But we would like a few more super chats before the end.
It's important, guys. It's important.
$5, $2, doesn't matter. Just super chat in. Give us a score out of 10. We want to hear from you guys. We do love reading your scores and seeing where you guys sit in relation to us on the episode. So please do.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
5 5s makes a difference.
Big difference.
Yeah. Or 6 5s.
Or 55s.
Wow. Okay, good, yes.
Yeah.
I like it. So Stuart.
Yeah.
The big question. What did you think of this episode? And now, how do you feel after our discussion, our analysis, our full scene breakdown? Because we've forced ourselves to sit and think about every minute thing. How do you feel now?
This one has a lot more of little moments that are really great, and some really good lines as well, which are very, very good. The best part of the episode for me, though, is the Romulans being like, oh. But I realized there was more like little nuggets of gold in this little mining project than just dirt. There you go. I'm using a new metaphor instead of a cake. So anyway, yeah. Do I think better of it? I mean, it's not what I'm going to seek out to rewatch, but I'm not going to not watch it if, I'm going. But you know me, I watch everything anyway when I do rewatches. So, but it's not what I'm going to seek out necessarily. It was all right, and it's still, like I said, middle of the road for this season as well as just Lower Decks in general. It felt more like a B plot. It just was missing something that should have been the A plot, in my opinion. But hey,
I mean, can you now we've done a review? Can you say what that would have been? What would have been the thing to instantly up it in your mind? What jumps?
Anything else?
Well,
something big and like a landing, like an away mission with like some of the senior staff, like Ransom and stuff.
But in the format of the episode, though, what in this structure could they have done to up it? Or just abandon part of the episode entirely because it wasn't good enough.
Do something better with the security team. Like, I mean, I get the point was to have one of them relax and not be doing security training. But I kind of like the way it started with, ooh, I know I'm part of the ship. Ooh, look, there's a security team in here. I wish there was something more to that. And then the whole, like, ooh, the test. Look in the box. Pick a thing. The ritual.
They wanted low key, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know what would have been good to add here necessarily, but
now this is obviously more fan-y. But let me throw in a curveball because if they want it to be low key, right? Because obviously they could do a holodeck, they could do a training simulation, they could do anything like that. What if they walk in and it's like a bare bones like construction area looking set, and everyone walks out in TOS era uniform engineers? They say, we do recreations of old scenarios as training. And they're doing some really naff TOS, like, make-believe. And it gets more silly. They're doing, like, it's like laser team. That's the joke. They're playing, like, tag.
Laser tag.
Yeah. And, like, half of them are Klingons, half of them are all the holographic Klingons, whatever. And it's just, like, played for laughs. Like, they're in, put on your uniform. And maybe it's like team gold and team red, TOS. I was like, but I want to be tactical. No, we're team gold and team red.
We're team red, and all the red team dies. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you can play into that. But like that idea of like it would feel silly for them to be TOS because the uniform's so much simpler. Like that could have been like they make it laser tag because they're using TOS phasers, so it kind of reduces TOS tech to a joke, but in a funny joke. They're forced to use communicators. Trax, I'm on deck 6. It's okay, baby. He gets out his phaser, or maybe twin TOS phasers, and then the little tiny laser beam comes out because they're lasers, right? They're like, would that have been much better? Do you think? Or that too much?
It would have been fun. It would have been more like war games or paintball or something like that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Still recreational.
Oh, actually,
training.
Imagine if they wore NX uniforms, but the NX phase pistols were paintball guns, or the Mako rifles.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
That'd be funny.
Not the Mako rifles. I hate the Mako rifles.
But they look like paintball guns versus phasers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But do you like it more after our review? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that would have made that plot better anyway. I don't know. There's something about this is just lacking a little bit. I don't know what it was. But I mean, like, we got good character development from Captain Freeman and Mariner. I love their relationship now that they're like friends. And we got a lot of T'Lyn stuff. She's decided to stay now. She's not really considering it a punishment to be here anymore, which is great. And we learned about the Betazoid Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool to know that exists.
I'll buy it.
You can mention that in a fan film now. Anyhow.
Oh, dear.
Okay, score-wise, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to put you through this, Stuart, but I've got to do it for the team,
Do I think this is better than last week's? That's the question. I'm trying to remember what last week's was.
Orion.
Oh, this one's not better than last week. No. Okay, I'm gonna give this one a 7.2 for enjoyment factor.
Okay.
For all of Lower Decks, the story gets rough. I might have to give it a straight 7.
Okay.
It was still enjoyable, and there was a lot of really fun little moments and lines and quips. As Lower Decks tends to do, and they didn't like miss a beat in that regard, but something about it wasn't substantial enough. So there you go.
Very nice.
How about you?
Well, guys, keep voting in the poll, keep super chatting. We need about 3 more. Would be great. Show love for Lower Decks, etc. Yes, no, this one, like I said, I liked it more in a second watch. It's been nice to break it down with you here. It's definitely one that you will absolutely forget all of the small lines.
Except for the Romulans.
Yeah, that was a visual moment, right? But you'll forget all the good dialogue as soon as you leave this live because it's not substantial enough to remember. but in the moment it's fun. And certainly I'd imagine as a binge watch, this will work better because you're not thinking about the main plot. You know you're going to go the next episode, next one. This, I think, will be a breath of fresh air in the middle of... Last week was a big character piece for Tendi. The week before that was a character piece for Boimler, and, well, you know, sort of 7 people, actually. But, as we keep saying, it's missing that big, chunky steak. You know, it's got the potatoes, it's got the sprouts, it's got the gravy, it's got a tiny ration of steak. So much that it's like one bite is gone. And you need a proper meal inside the tasty bits, right? Maybe next week it'll jump off this and you know... Yes, Starfleet, we're being attacked by this alien race. We're going to push forward finally, right? Maybe. But now it's not bad in that regard for that plot. But it's such a big feeling plot with the alien ship that by not moving it forward meaningfully... It feels stagnant. Either don't address it and have it just be a one-off, or have that nice twist at the end. Would be great. But yeah, really good to Lynn, considering she came in as a sort of fresh character after many seasons. To be so successful in one go round, you know, doesn't need to change, doesn't need to do whatever, is really good. It's quite an ensemble cast. It was a good joke. Mixmo really stands out as well. And they're not afraid to, you know, I remember in season 1, they invented many new planets. They were afraid to just keep using canon. But this week, they were going from a planet we know to a planet we know, with 2 diseases we know, with ale we know, to neutron we know, to a ship we know. Like, it's just using the canon, right? This is what we would have dreamed of when Discovery came back. The entirely Malcolm Reed puzzle, the Bajoran thing, every single thing is canon. It's living, right? So this is real living Trek. It just needs more of that full story. So I give them all the credit for that. They were scared to do it in season 1, I think. They didn't feel they earned it. But score-wise, yeah, there is so many better Lower Decks episodes. So many better ones. You know, or even like one joke to really give it a thing. As soon as I said that, it reminds me of, it's missing the joke of everyone's from Hawaii. That was a great joke. Yeah. Really good through line. There's no good through line joke here, except Mixamo. And the Romulans is a joke and gone, right? Like, that's it. That's the only through joke. So it's not really as funny as it could be as well. Score-wise, gosh. I'm gonna go for all low decks first, because I do think there's different scores. For all low decks, I'm gonna give it a 6.7. Because they can do better. For this season, which is a middling season currently with a few better ones, but it's quite a middle season. What was episode 2 again? I'm staring at the scores. Oh, it was Voyager, then it was the creature that killed everything with bones.
Oh, Moopsie, yeah.
The Moopsie. Is it better than Moopsie? No. But it was different. That's a better story, but it's less canon. This is more canon.
See, I feel like the Moopsie story and this one could have been combined into the same episode and have 2 different, like, separate stories. That's kind of the feeling I got.
Yeah. It features like the Moopsie episode. But I'm looking at that score and it's like, I think it's not as I think I enjoy it less than that one. Even though it's probably cleverer. God, they're different sort of episodes. Fine, I'll be a coward and I'll say a 7.2. This will be so interesting in retrospect, right? This season, I'll agree with you, but I think overall low decks, it's less good for me. But hey, you know, every episode bar 1 is in the 7 to 8 range. It's still good. But, you know, we know low decks can do exceptional.
Well, let's get to some super chats. John Walker threw in $2 a little while ago, and I forgot to read it. We saw Dederidex. I can forgive all the flaws. He's a huge fan of the Dederidex. He says it's the best Star Trek ship. So there you go.
Yes. One sec, sorry.
Yes. I'll wait till he comes back to read the rest of the super chats. If anyone wants to super chat in though, as for a last super chat snipe, we'd appreciate it. Who wants that last super chat slot? Right now, Verpine has it, but you can take it from him with $1. We haven't had a snipe war in a while. A super chat snipe war. You just get the honor of saying that you were the last super chat. It's not really a big deal, but would be awesome to get at least another $5 to actually just to finish out with a good number. But it's up to you guys. So, all right. And now that Samuel is back, we can continue reading the super chats.
Yes, I'm back. Hello.
There we go. Rich McConville throws in $2 and says an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
John Walker, $5. 5 drunken Beta Z Cougars out of 10. Should you give it a 5 out of 10? Very middle of the road. Okay. Yeah. General Grievous, member for 17 months at the rank of Lieutenant, even though he says his name is General Grievous. General Lieutenant Grievous, I guess. Have Boimler in the holodeck with Hollow Reed instead of Reed being uptight. Tells Boimler to enjoy the time he has with his friends while he has it. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or, as a part of that, have that be part of the puzzle. It's actually like a 3D holographic puzzle of Reed that you're putting together, like those 3D puzzles. And he starts talking to you once you get the mouth done, and he gives him that advice during the course of building it. That'd be kind of neat. Creepy, but neat.
You're kind of it's kind of like Harry Potter, the paintings that can talk. That's great, actually. That's really fun, especially as Reed's not known for having fun. So if that's like season 7 Reed, he's learned. Oh, that'd be great. And then
get the voice actor back.
Well, then there'd be the meta joke of having Reed and Trick back in the same week. Without any planning, would have been just beautiful. Yeah. Which they are back, like, you can, but that'd have been great.
Verpine though, $2, 7.5 out of 10. Perfect.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's also forgettable.
There's a lot of ables.
Yeah, like I think you'll remember the idea of Betazoids took over the Cerritos, Mixamo destroyed a replicator, and the Romans were sad. That'll stick with you, I think. But everything else, I guess Tallinn in general, but I already forgot about it, right? Because there's gentle things that are happening.
Yeah.
We'll see in retrospect. We'll see if it stands out better. I don't know. If, probably better on third watch once we do the whole season. But it depends if stuff happens next week. I don't know.
I've already watched it 3 times, so
sure. But we'll know more about the characters and the situation and the maybe
one of these Bajoran intelligence ladies comes back at some point to help them out, save the day, something like that.
Who's to say?
Maybe they need to pull them in because they find out that the ship can be contacted telepathically. So they call one of them back or all of them back to hook them up to the sensors to use the ship as a huge big mind meld machine.
Turns out the through line of the entire season is Captain Freeman getting hit on.
Yeah. Well, let's end the poll. We have 43 votes, 44 now. Tallinn, where does she rank in terms of your favorite character in Lower Decks? The winner is Tallinn is my third favorite with 36%. Tallinn is not my favorite. It's 27%, second place. And Tallinn is my second favorite at 20%. Interesting results.
And obviously, it's third favorite out of the main 4. So it's now 5. So she's 3 out of 5. So I'm assuming that's Mariner, Boimler, or Boimler, Mariner, Tallinn, Tendi, Rutherford, as in the groupings. Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Final super chat. $2 will round us up. Would be awesome. We've got the Raven episode from last week coming out tomorrow. Really nice detailed breakdown. As Trekyards does. Sunday little surprise for you.
Yes.
Are you doing that thing with Sylvia this weekend? Was that the...
Maybe. We'll have to see. We have Me and Sylvia might be going live this weekend sometime, so...
It's kind of a special thing. So keep that in mind. Do turn in for that. There'll be some fun stuff. Both you can help with and just interesting because I was pleasantly shocked by the news. So I know they're not pregnant. That sounded like you were.
No, nothing like that. God,
Sorry.
I'd kill myself.
What?
I'd kill myself if
Oh,
that was the
you
case.
just want to meet the great koala, don't you?
Oh my God.
Oh, hell,
All right,
koala.
let's. Oliver Lavery Farag throws in £5.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Read alert. Read alert. This is a snipe. Keep calm and prepare for war. Oh, we got the sniping war going on.
Well,
And Verpine.
Talk to us.
Verpine, $2. Algorithmic engagement chat. Aw, thanks, Verpine. That's very great.
Yeah.
Want to read some non-super chat scores, though?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now.
You do that. That's your job.
What do people say? Okay. Let me make sure I got to the right point. Oh, that was me. 8 out of 10. 8.58. 7. 7. 7. 7. 8.5. 8.7. 8.8. 6.8. Ooh, from General Grievous. 9 out of 10 from Donnie. Only a 9. Donnie did not like this one.
Oh, no, Donnie.
Eric, 7. I think Ozzy said a score earlier, didn't he? Can't find it. Am I crazy? Oh yeah, his mum gave it 0.8. Okay. Okay, so 7s or 8s, and we both gave it in the 7s.
Low 7s, but 7s.
Low 7, but 7s, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's average, right? That's an average for lower decks is still really good. So
yep,
it's one of those, yeah.
And that's the and that's the problem. We expect so much, but they never tend to drop the ball. They just don't raise it as high as they could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but good to see Cannon. That's what it feels like.
Cannon.
And gosh,
yeah.
down to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's sad. The whole of the year.
Well.
Let's see what the end of the season gives us, because Mike tends to go bold.
You just say Mike's going bald? That's not very nice.
Bold.
Mike McMahon, I hope you're not watching. Oh, boldly going. Gotcha. And on that note,
yes.
We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Like
yes.
he said, check out our content this weekend, including my live with Sylvia, which should be really fun. So until then, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Fanny.
Still him. I checked. Oh, Matthew Lebner. Remember, for 6 months at the rank of Admiral. Good afternoon, Trekyards. Nice to be able to be a part of a live again. It's been a while. You just missed us, but you just barely snuck in there. Just logging on. Glad I didn't miss it. You did, though. I'm honored for my 6-month anniversary here. Good luck to all of the new ensigns about to join. Well, thank you. Thank you, Admiral. Amazing. And he's Admiral Lebner. There you go. That's our closeout.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
And.
Oh, no.
And I've got a new short film count tomorrow. Hasn't been said. It's been posted on the internets. But yes, new short film count tomorrow for Trek Shorts. Do check it out. It's called The Pack-Led Resurgence. No hints as to what's in it. Yes, it's quite a long short film. It's actually longer than this episode of Low Deck, Stuart.
I know. I watched it.
Which doesn't make it a short, really. So that's quite exciting. A lot of stuff happens in it. If you like Trek, if you like ships. And there's one new shot that you haven't seen that's in it that I had to put in last night. Oh, I showed the screen cap, but the video is better.
Yeah, you told me.
Damn it, I talked to you already. So there's some really fun stuff, and it's a pretty important narrative episode for setting up things for a future thing I can't talk about. So do watch it, and it'll be hopefully shown by some important people.
This is the longest closeout ever.
Well, it's a long film, so do watch that. And if you want to support Patreon, please do. We're doing quite well, but more support is good, and many of you are here making that go. Pack-Lids, as you know. And it's kind of fun to do a Low Decks themed episode in Lower Decks, which didn't mean to make it, but I did.
Mm.
So yeah, go watch tomorrow. It'll be fun. It'll be out sort of got 6, 7 time. Make sure to share it, because it needs to be. It's another Prodigy saving episode, so make sure to share it and spread the good word.
And Admiral Matthew Lebner gifted 5 Trekyards memberships, so we have 5 new ensigns. That's 10 ensigns for this live, so thank you. So I want to welcome the Stanleys, Dave Moon, Kay, Tim McCaffrey, and Robert Olson to the rank of ensign. Check out our fleet videos at the end of our edited content, probably starting next weekend, where you'll see your names and see what ships you're assigned to. So
10 new ensigns and a new admiral. That is a hefty change to the roster.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now you can close out, Stuart.
We already did. We already gave our closeout. So just bye.
Bye.